Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. It's been a busy couple months. I appreciate everybody reaching out and asking concerns and thoughts about where I'm at, and it's just it's become a full-time job with the business alone, trying to do that or keep that handled. Traveling around 30 days at a time, stuff like that, and the videos sadly have taken the back seat, but we're all good. Busy. I feel blessed and certainly looking forward to the rest of the year. Hard to believe that we are having this video or this talk right now. Hard to believe that it's that time of the year already, but what we are looking at is warm season food plots, right? Our summer planning, if you will. And it's a little early. Usually I'm doing this in June, but the way that my schedule permits this year, it's just not going to happen or work for me to time it perfect with the waiting for that dough stage, like we say all the time, guys, with the rye, and just not being able to time it right. So this year what I'm doing is I'm planning a little bit earlier than normal. We are planning here on the farm in central Kentucky. I'm running with our Whitetail driven Summer South blend that I have through Northwoods Whitetails through John Comp there, and it's been a hit. Both North and South blends have been working really well, and John and I have tweaked them as we went, and we've got it pretty darn close. So what we're doing here, as you can see, just got done crimping. I got a little piece here that I got to do. I just stopped long enough to get out and see where we were at and what it was doing with the crimper. Like I said, guys, that's the crimper that I have, and it's very aggressive. So the good thing about that is sometimes you don't have to wait until the perfect dough stage, if you will, on the rye. So any of you that are new to the channel or tuning into this and kind of wondering what I'm talking about that dough stage and the rye and why we usually wait, is usually when we're planning our now warm season our warm season blends that we're doing. I'm waiting until June, when that rye that you're looking at behind me that is now crimped down through the clover, we are waiting till that's in the dough stage or near it, and then what we do is, so we plant, then we crimp. So all of that rye, we terminate that rye, it lays down on top of the blend, the summer blends, and what that does, it acts as a thatch layer, right? It dies and starts decaying, and what I refer to all the time is that plot armor, right? So when we don't get the rains, it controls that moisture, holds that moisture under that thatch. No different than like planting a new yard and putting straw down, and or sometimes you'll see back in our old world, right, that we used to do for a living, hydro seeding along a road, and then putting straw over the top of it, or straw blankets. Same theory, holding that moisture in. So what we're trying to do here, guys, this year, like I said, we're planning a little bit early because of stuff we got coming up in June, projects that I'm going to be on the road doing. So we're doing it before the dough stage, right? So that's something probably, I've kind of dabbled in it a little bit here or there, but probably not as a large amount that we're doing this year. But the positive is this, is I planted it yesterday. Had good friends of mine down. We got both of the properties planted, and I'm running around on the open. You'll see here, guys, the open ground behind me. So I've got a plot extension, ground blind in the brush pile here, shot plot in the center, and then plots on both sides and access over the top. So hunting the shot plot, this will all be screened off, and come season. Right now it looks like we're sitting on top of the all one plot, but this is actually going to be a shot plot in the center, food plot down that way, and food plot down the other way. So clover, chicory, shot plot, just kind of as a bypass, right? And then we are going to have like a platform or an octagon right here. 2 steps out the back door, you're on the other side of the ridge where there's all switchgrass, and this whole face will be screening. So really easy in, easy out. Not blowing those deer in it's pretty much the way this lays out. I could probably cheat the system and get in here on an AM, but it's mainly an early season or a PM hunt, if you will, right? So just kind of giving you an overview on where we're at. But back to the crimping and the planning side of it, what we've got going on is, like I said, it's a little bit early. Got out, seeded it, started crimping it, just parked the side by side, got out and started looking. And I'll take you along here with me, guys. Is what you're gonna find is that crimper being so aggressive is, even though it's not in the doe stage, so some of my wheat is headed out. I'll flip you around here, guys. So even though that the rye is not perfect, right? So you can see all the crimson clover, the vetch, the sun hemp and everything that's growing in here. So guys, what this is this plot was planted into our whitetail driven fall south. So our fall blend last year, obviously in August, and that's, you know, all the way through this season, the fall. And this is all of that seed that was, you know, still in the ground or planted from last fall. So this rye was not planted this spring, the wheat wasn't planted, it was all from last fall. But we go to the crimping part of it here, and this little piece right here is what I have not crimped, just to kind of use this as an example. I did not crimp this piece, this little 6-foot section I got here, and this is crimped and that's crimped. So if we go over here, so I was actually going this way with the crimper on this. It's all laid down this way. What you'll see, guys, is we'll grab one of these, is what I was looking at, is this is, look at, it's actually broken, chopped in a couple pieces. And that's because of that in you know, our aggressive crimper, the paddles, the bar paddles, and yeah, it jumps and it actually runs smoother than what you would think it does. And I'll walk over there and show you that in a minute, a little closer view. But what it is, guys, it's aggressive. So it's killed and cut, and because of the spacing, they're 4-inch spacing. So the big paddles, the long paddles on the through the, you know, from side to side are 4 inches, and then the internal ones are, you know, kind of shorter, obviously. Then you go back to the long bar stock, and it rumbles behind you, but you can see what it acts kind of as a cultipacker. This was disked ground because it's new, and we seeded it in, and that's the last time that I'll disc it, hopefully, right? But picked rocks and some debris and run that thing around, and you can see right here, guys, a spot that this was all that where the disc, that's where it's called packed, I guess you could say, right? So that acts as a crimper and a packer. And so this is what we've got, and I think it's going to do great. Right here's a perfect example. So what we're looking at, guys, we want to terminate the rye, right? So you look here, broke, so that's 3 spots that it's broke. This one's 2 spots that it's broke, and the rye is laid down. So most or some years, right, the test has been is sometimes I run over these after I get it crimped. I run back over it with a clethodim, not a glyphosate, unless there's a major weed problem. But like you can see, guys, now I'm 3 years into this, I don't have a weed problem, so I'm not using the glyphosate anymore. Not that I'm against it, it's a tool, right? Great to use it when we have to, but not using it too much. So using clethodim, just a grass killer to set the rye back. The problem with it is maybe it would damage the vetch and some of the sun hemp and stuff like that that's growing, right? So the goal is guys, is to not kill it, right? Not clean the slate like we've got here. Not cleaning the slate. This is what most people do twice a year. The only reason this is done is because it's new. So this will never look like this ever again. It'll never be open ground. So I can take you to all the other 5 acres of food plots that I've got, guys, and, you know, 2 more just down the road, so 7 acres total that I'm planting, and it all looks like this. And plus we've got the, you know, 4 acres of corn. The ground is never open, no erosion, no overheating. Last year was a dry year and we struggled even then, but my plots were way better than most in this region and a lot of parts of the country, just because it had thatch on that. So can the thatch get too thick? Yes. If you go back to the first videos that we had starting this process, when I bought this, this was all in old hay, And instead of mowing it, right, I used that thatch, I seeded, sprayed, and then rolled all that down on top. So I had a lot of thatch, and what it did, guys, is my process on top of that hay, I had too much thatch. So I actually ran a cultivator through it last year and broke it up, broke the thatch a little bit, and it worked great because it allowed some sunlight and some better seed to soil connection, I guess, when we planted and stuff like that. It was just so heavy. So do you need to run a cultivator through it? What I would recommend doing, my experience was, I hit some of them, I hit these with a cultivator, and maybe it was my tine spacing. I guess there's a lot of things to be said, but it actually pulled too much of that, what I would like to see, right, too much of that thatch off, and didn't just cut it. So if I had to do it again, I would just disc it, right, just lightly disc it, not powder, just hit it. So maybe you disc it once every third year, right, something like that. Depending on your ground, maybe you lightly disc it when you put the the fall blend in. So maybe you only lightly disc it once a year. So the goal is to no-till, not light till and then use a no-till drill and call that no-tilling, right? No-till is no-till, period, zero, zilch, nada, right? So it works. It's just every ground is so different that you have to kind of take that with a grain of salt, I guess, right? And that's what I try to help my clients with, is how is it reacting to your ground? Maybe there is something to be said for, are you broadcasting? Do you have a drill? Well, reason I'm doing this, guys, is because 99% of my clients, right, I guess you could say, don't have a drill nor a tractor to pull the drill, don't have a neighbor with them, don't have the funding to do it. That's why I'm trying to master this, I guess, as best I can for you on a no-till system with no-till or no tillage equipment, nothing other than the Ranger, and once in a while borrowing the neighbor's disc or renting something to make new plots, something like that, or like I said, once every 3 years, whatever the case is, right, to cut that in. So that's where we're at, guys. We just planted the summer blend in. We just crimped. I wanted to leave that little spot for you so you could see crimped versus non-crimped. Then I'm going to hit that and I'm going to go on. So not only am I crimping, guys, is what I'm doing is because of, actually the faster you go with that, it actually works as more of a, just a cultipacker. The faster you go, you slow it down just a little notch and it actually scars more. And you're doing more crimping at that speed than you are cultipacking. So it's a great piece of, it started with 2-inch paddles, and you can see the 2-inch paddles are on there, and then we use them as gussets. Then I added the 4-inch paddles. So those are 4-inch. I believe they're 3/8 stock. And then that is a little bit narrower than what I would prefer to have, but it's 4 foot wide, so it's a little bit lighter, and it pulls great behind the side-by-side. So the tillage tool that I'm building, a lot of clients and folks that follow the channel, is I'm actually building a all-in-one. We're trying to get that right. It's not done yet, and I haven't even started testing it on the dirt. But it's going to be aerator, seeder, crimper, cultipacker, all in one. So hopefully I get a chance by fall, maybe by the time the fall planting, to show you that, guys. And I think that's the ticket, right? So, but that's where we're at. Like I said, hard to believe we're already, not quite halfway through the year. But boy, I'm telling you, we're into food plot season already in just a couple months. Lord willing, tomorrow we're supposed to get some good rains. You can see it's already, it's real muggy today, and skies are starting to churn some stuff up, and I think we're going to get a good chance of getting some rain tomorrow. So I think I've got 9 total acres, right, with the food plots and the shop plots and everything that are all sowed in. And yeah, all of them. I could take you over on the other side where the plots are up against the cornfield there, and they look great. Ground is really responding good to this system. And we're, like I said, what's good about, guys, right, is we're all learning as we go. And I've got clients across the country that are using that. We sold a lot of that summer south this year and the summer north. And it looks like we're going to have, you know, a great season with some folks buying through John there, Northwoods Whitetails, for our fall blends too. So surely appreciate everybody, you know, believing in the system and following along. And I know John appreciates the business as well. Like I said, I'm kind of learning. I've got test plots, and you know, some that I fertilized this year, some that I haven't fertilized for 3 years. That plot right there hasn't had fertilizer on it, nor lime, for 3 years. This will be the third year. Yeah, the third year with no lime or fertilizer. So that's the goal, right? Cut down on that. Not saying that you never have to do it again, but it looks pretty strong right now. Soil samples were great this year, and it's all coming together. A lot of food. Hope and pray for a good growing season, and we'll continue on. So yeah, I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. We are busy. We do have some late summer stuff available, I think. Maybe a client or two here, if you guys are in a certain area that we could, you know, I'm traveling through. Last month was busy. I was gone 30 days, left the end of March and got home the first or the last day of April or whatever it was, right? So I'm 30 solid days on the road, and I got another one of those coming up this right down the road here ahead of me, going into May. So surely appreciate everybody over the last several years with the channel, not only the channel but the business. All the pros, all the cons, all the good, all the bad, naysayers, positive words. It's all for the good, the way I look at it, right? So surely appreciate you guys, and thanks for coming along, and thanks for staying in tune here with me as the farm grows, and the success of the business and the success of the farm. So hope everybody's learning something from it. And like I said, guys, I'm hoping to better the videos here real shortly, timing wise, quality wise. We're way better than what we were when we started. But still pretty redneck about it, I guess you could say, right? And that's okay. That's okay with me. And that's okay with a lot of my clients, a lot of the followers. But really looking forward to possibly a situation that I'm going through right now, is maybe having somebody start doing some of that for me, and we'll be able to put more of it out on a more consistent basis. So kind of some things we've got going on, guys. I really appreciate it, and maybe the next time I do a video, you'll see the octagon or the blind that we've got here. Maybe we'll be putting some screening in, and maybe even one of these days we'll take you along on a hunt. So thanks, guys. Hope everybody's doing good, and have a great rest of the year. Best of luck food plotting. Thanks.